Hey guys, welcome to Bolt from the Blue Tarot. My name is Sam, and today we're going to be pulling cards from the Jungian Archetypes Oracle. This is a deck that truly challenges me, so we're going to see what your guides and mine have in store for this. Instead of just shuffling the cards and pulling, I've got a set of dice here. These are like tabletop gaming dice. So we're going to use these to see which Jungian archetype or archetypes wants to come out for you all. All right, we got 4, 8, 12, 19. Okay. I'm going to find number 19 in the deck. Be right back. All right, guys. Number 19 is the Shadow. I know we're all rooting for that pull, so let's see what's going on with this for you. I've described these cards before as being like walking through some sort of contemporary art museum of the collective unconscious. I think that's about right. Anywho, 19, the Shadow. Beneath the sky where the peoples of the air fly unpredictably, and the surfaces of the seas are furrowed by silver dolphins with bow-shaped leaps, and beneath the lush pastures and cities where the mortal looks before him, heedless of the sky and the world that open up the necropolises of nameless skulls, lives the indistinct Tartar, where the eye accustomed to straight and bright destinations is lost in twisted and dark ways. Just as beneath the shiny multitudes of fish, easy on the surface as the fisherman's net, lives the whale with its slimy and majestic bulk, which sings down where the sun does not reach. So beneath the surface, the shadow, evil according to reason, digs down unpredictable and vertical paths, speaking the words of the unconscious with unknown languages. In the darkness lies the unacceptable shadow, and that still child waiting to grow. Everything beneath the surface, unknown Atlantis, incompatible with the image reflecting the luminous mirror, all the evil projected onto the world that irritates and frightens. The shadow enhances the light, the shadow that descends cyclically from the hills and rooftops, reveals more in the darkness than the sun or fire can in the perfection of the mirror's circle. That which is shadowless lacks in depth. I'm going to read this last part one more time. And I don't know how many more cards there will be, but just tune into the poetry of this. This is not a deck that easily reveals its secrets. And as blunt as the shadow can be, it doesn't often easily yield the greatest secrets that it has to share, the ones of the most value. Everything beneath the surface, unknown Atlantis, incompatible with the image reflecting the luminous mirror, all the evil projected onto the world that irritates and frightens. The shadow enhances the light, the shadow that descends cyclically from the hills and rooftops, reveals more in the darkness than the sun or fire can in the perfection of the mirror's circle. There's a little bit of a that which is shadowless lacks in depth. There's a little bit of glacial energy here, of like an iceberg. In the way that a glacier is frozen over long periods of time long ago and holds these deep, dark secrets of the past. In the same way that an iceberg, you only see the tip of it at the surface, what we present to the world, what we think is us, but it goes so deep. I'm really sorry, guys. It's like a tooth. I know that's going to set someone off. I'm sorry. You know how a tooth has like those roots that go so deep? I'm being brought to a tooth because of the ancestral aspect here. This teeth always speak to me of ancestry. I actually have my teeth highlighted when there's something ancestral, like ancestral trauma or something like that I have, or an ancestral issue that I know I'm working on. I have my teeth highlighted. Mostly the molars, the ones that go really deep. I'm realizing like it's very metaphorical, talking about teeth, knowing it's going to set someone off. But that's the shadow a little bit, is like it goes into the deep roots, to very uncomfortable places. And it takes some effort to get down there. But yeah, in the same way that, what we present to the world, what we find presentable is very small, just on the surface, and then everything that's underneath, possibly miles and miles deep of this iceberg, it might be frozen, but it's just a different form of all of the water around it. It goes incredibly deep, but by extension, it goes into the deep waters. It has contact with the deep waters and all of the creatures down there. It's there's some sense in which your shadow is tapped into the collective unconscious, and in understanding it, you don't just understand your own underbelly, the things that you don't like about you or you don't find presentable. You also understand the collective unconscious of humanity, what we all don't find presentable. And with you being, okay, this is interesting. Fractals have been coming up a lot recently. If you bring through the stained glass mirror that is you, a fractal of light, if the light shines through you, you also bring through a fractal of the darkness. Like you, through exploring your own shadow, you explore the larger collective shadow. And in helping to heal your relationship with your own shadow, yes, you help to heal your relationship with humanity, but if you see yourself as a reflection of the divine, then humanity itself is undeniably a reflection of the divine. The mirror might be kind of dirty sometimes, but we might flinch away from the collective, especially when it throws up or puts forward shadowy things. I don't know, there's just something about, you might think that your shadow is all just your stuff from this lifetime. And that gives it a sense of like a chore, like tidying your room, mowing your own lawn, something like that. And the whole shadow work thing has a very heavy connotation. It doesn't sound like much fun, but were you to think of this as a way in exploring your own shadow, of exploring the collective unconscious, of exploring a larger collective shadow, I think there's two things, at least two things. You become sort of an anthropologist, right? An anthropologist of our collective shadow. The more you understand that, the more you understand the light, right? The more you understand humanity in its totality. And remember, you incarnated to be fully human. Yeah, I think I hear someone saying to indulge. Oh, Sam says to indulge the shadow. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. But to understand it, to be courageous enough to look in that dark mirror and stare right in the face what comes out of that darkness towards you. There's something in here about it only being classed as evil by the part of you that thinks that it's not presentable. But the evil moniker is unhelpful. It's not useful to understanding something if you've already prejudged it to be evil. I think the other thing is, when you work to heal and integrate those parts that don't have a home, because really we can think of it like that, those parts that have been cast so deep down because we've said there's no home for you here. How much does it heal the collective when you bring through a fractal of that darkness for healing and integration? When you say, I wish to understand you more. It doesn't mean that, they're the captain now. It doesn't mean that they're steering the ship. But it does mean that you're willing to more deeply understand it from a compassionate place, heal this one fractal, this one slice, and know that in doing so, you have healed a part of the collective unconscious. the collective unconscious seeps into all of our subconscious. When we shove all of our shadow elements in there, they surface again. How would it change how you think about it if you thought about your own, what you have put into your own shadow, what you have shoved down as being unpresentable? What if that only fueled it with dark energies, told it that it was dark, kept it in the dark, until it was fueled by a lot of similar energy and came up in someone else? If you watch my channel, you know that I'm not presenting a course here or like a lecture on how all of this works. I'm not a Jungian psychologist. I can see someone in the comments being like, actually, the collective unconscious is not as you describe. A lot of what I'm presenting are thought experiments. But a more embodied thought experiment that involves you considering compassionately how the decisions you make about your own stuff and what you're going to do about it impact me, impact your friends and family, impact the quality of our shared collective unconscious. I don't know, Spirit. Anything else? Any other cards? No, I'm getting that is a complete, that's a complete message. I hope there was something there for you, and thank you for tuning in for a different reading, a channeling session, really. I love you guys, and I love your shadows. We can't do anything useful by looking at them in any other way. By then, other than facing them with a radical love. I hope someone chooses to do this. I'm just getting this feeling like we can't really underestimate the impact that it has. Yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one.